Addison's Disease by Steve and Natasha.
Oh, hey, Joseph, you don't look so good.
Sup, Paula? Yeah, I'm not really sure why, but I've been feeling really weak. I'm losing weight, and now my skin has turned a bronze color. My doctor thinks I might have Addison's disease.
Oh, God, no.
What is Addison's disease? Addison's disease, also called primary adrenal insufficiency, is a rare chronic metabolic disorder caused by the destruction of the adrenal gland. The most common cause of Addison's disease in Canada is the autoimmune destruction of the gland. The disease involves deficits in both glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids.
Some symptoms include, but are not limited to, hyperpigmentation, hypotension, hypoglycemia, salt cravings, weakness, weight loss, and postural hypotension.
Normal physiology. The adrenal glands are two pyramid-shaped organs that rest on the upper portion of the kidneys. Each adrenal gland consists of an inner adrenal medulla and an outer adrenal cortex. We will be concentrating on the adrenal cortex for Addison's disease. The function of the adrenal cortex is to synthesize over 24 steroid hormones, collectively called corticosteroids. Layers of the adrenal cortex. The adrenal cortex is divided into three layers: the zona glomerulosa, the zona fasciculata, and the zona reticularis. Each layer produces its own set of hormones and functions to maintain homeostasis in the body. The outside zona glomerulosa produces mineralocorticoids, the most abundant one being aldosterone. The function of this layer is to regulate electrolyte concentrations in the ECF. Aldosterone stimulates sodium reabsorption and causes potassium secretion into the kidney tubules. The middle zona fasciculata produces glucocorticoids, the main one being cortisol, which influences the energy metabolism of most body cells and helps the body reduce stressors. The inner zona reticularis produces gonadocorticoids, which are adrenal sex hormones that play a role in the female libido, development of pubic hair, and act as a source of estrogen after menopause. Risk factors for Addison's disease include individuals taking anticoagulants, chronic infections such as tuberculosis, previous adrenal gland surgery, and other autoimmune diseases. Aldosterone negative feedback loop. An increase of potassium in the ECF stimulates the zona glomerulosa to increase aldosterone secretion. Aldosterone targets the distal portion of the kidney tubules where it stimulates sodium reabsorption and causes potassium secretion. Sodium and potassium levels return to normal values. Cortisol negative feedback loop. Cortisol release is promoted by ACTH. ACTH release is triggered by CRH, a hormone released by the hypothalamus. Increased levels of cortisol act on the anterior pituitary, which in turn prevents the release of CRH and turns off secretion of ACTH and cortisol.
Pathophysiology. The pathophysiology of Addison's disease results from the destruction of the different layers of the adrenal cortex, which results in different hormonal insufficiencies. The destruction of the zona glomerulosa causes aldosterone production to decrease. This leads to low blood pressure, hyponatremia, and hyperkalemia. With destruction of the zona fasciculata, cortisol production is reduced. This can lead to hypoglycemia and electrolyte imbalances. Hyperpigmentation is caused by increased levels of ACTH in the blood due to it being remarkably close in structure to melanocyte-stimulating hormone. Homeostasis. Homeostasis is affected in many ways during Addison's disease, but are based around a decrease or cessation of hormone production from the adrenal gland. Decreases in cortisol affects glucose levels in the ECF and leads to ATP deficiencies. Blood pressure is also affected because without aldosterone, the body's ability to retain sodium and water is impaired. This leads to changes in blood volume, which affects cardiac output. Proteins. Self-antigens as well as HLA antigens are both proteins and are believed to play an essential role in autoimmune response. Cell membrane. Increased levels of adrenocorticotropic hormone, also known as ACTH, can often cause the activation of melanocyte-stimulating hormone, or MSH. MSH is a peptide hormone that attaches to the cell membrane of melanocytes to begin melanin production.
Joseph, is that you? You look great.
Thanks. My doctor's given me hormone replacement therapy, and now I feel great. I lost my tan, though.
Yeah, you're pasty.
Who asked you, Paula?
created using Powtoon.